Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm going to be doing a movie review of Prince Avalanche. Came out in 2013, and this film is really interesting because I never even heard about it. I never saw a trailer. The only thing I knew about it is that it had Paul Rudd in it. And as you know, Paul Rudd is my favorite actor of all time. So I watched this film last night, twice actually, once with the audio commentary off and once with it on. And I still really enjoyed this film. This is one of the more emotional Paul Rudd films I have seen. It's mostly a drama film. And let's dive into it. So the storyline is actually really interesting because we focus on this guy named Alvin and his girlfriend's brother, Lance. And they decide to leave city life behind to live in the countryside. And they become like highway road repairman who put the line lanes on the road. And, Alvin wants Lance to like loosen up and have fun outside and just enjoy being with the fresh air and nature and not be worried about everything. But Lance is not into it. And you also find out that Alvin is going through some problems. He had a relationship fallout with his ex-girlfriend Madison, who is actually the sister to Lance. It's up to Alvin to make Lance more dependent and try not to think about his past mistake with Madison. And that's basically what the storyline is for this film. Very simple and very emotional. And the performances are really interesting because there are actors in this movie, but we just mainly focus around two of them. And both performances are really awesome. Easily the big standout is Paul Rudd, who plays Alvin in this film. He gives such a raw and emotional and captivating performance. Alvin's a character you feel bad for. He wants Lance to be more independent. He doesn't like talking about his ex-girlfriend, Madison. He thinks it's just a bad idea to bring up, and he wants Lance to not worry and just enjoy being outside. I thought his character was really awesome. Alvin had some really standout moments. The argument scene where he's mad at Lance for looking at his letters is a really powerful and really heavy scene because those were letters that Lance was not supposed to see. They were kept secret from him for a reason. And the scene where Alvin mentions, I jumped off the cliff. I walked off the cliff so I can end my life, essentially, is a really sad moment because after Lance called him a loser, saying you can't do anything right, it made Alvin want to end it all. And I think that's one of the more heavier aspects of the film. Just that whole scene between the two and when Lance sees Alvin in the water. That's one of the best moments of the entire film. And the bonding between Alvin and Lance is the highlight of the entire film. Emil Hirsch plays Lance, and he does a glorious job as this character. Lance is kind of a bum. He doesn't like being outside. He just enjoys, being inside. So that's why he stays mostly in the tent for the majority of the film. He's just so unhappy. The scene where he actually threatens to beat up Alvin because, he's annoyed that Alvin is giving him too much tough love is a really powerful and emotional moment. All the moments between Alvin and Lance are the strong points of this entire movie. You can just tell that Emil Hirsch and Paul Rudd were having a lot of fun making this film. And fun fact, when they were filming this, Paul Rudd actually hurt his leg. He ran, I think when he was right near the cliff, he fell and skinned his knees. So that's why in the commentary, they mentioned that you have to be careful of, what you do on set. And the cinematography is also really awesome. The wild landscape in Texas. And this movie is loosely based off of the wildfire that happened in 1988 in Texas. So that's why in the opening you see a lot of flames. And that was a really awesome way to open the film up with disturbing and depressing visuals. And something else about this movie that's interesting, that the clothing that Alvin and Lance wear, according to the DVD commentary, the director said, oh, think of it like if Mario and Luigi were in the military and they came back from war and this is what they look like. That's a really good analogy. That's actually a really great and inspiring inspiring idea to have them wear these like types of clothing in the film. I should mention this is actually a remake to an Icelandic film called Either Way, which I believe is the same concept as this film. The directed by David Gordon Green is tremendous. He pulled off all the powerful and emotional stuff in the film. You know, he does a glorious job directing this film. This is the same director who directed all the new Halloween movies. Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal, that biopic. That one was actually heavier to watch. This one's just a simple drama film. But I think overall, Gordon Green did a glorious job directing this film. So in conclusion, I still enjoy this film. It's very powerful, really emotional. It's really fun. Both actors do a glorious job at their character. They're both Emil Hirsch and Paul Rudd play off each other perfectly. This is easily in my top 10 favorite Paul Rudd films. And it's probably his most underrated film of all time. Because any movie that Paul Rudd does, I'll immediately go see. And it's just a shame that people just forgot about this movie, because this movie kind of reminds me of, in terms of an emotional movie, either Minari or like the movie The Farewell. In terms of the drama aspects in the film, it reminds me of those two films. But I highly recommend you watch this film, especially if you like The Fundamental The Caring, which also stars Paul Rudd. I give this film a 10 out of 10. So that is my movie review of Prince Avalanche. Hope you guys enjoyed.